Okay, go.
And we're back from our break.
Yes. So the last thing we were talking about was the influencers and YouTubers becoming real life celebrities.
Yeah. So like people like Jake Paul, like H3H3 podcasts, like Ethan and.
Who's
and
your favorite YouTuber or like influencer that you follow?
Honestly, I think H3H3 Productions.
Same, dude. I think Ethan is one of the funniest fucking guys.
It's
ever.
just natural too. Like
it's so natural.
There's no setup. It's just
yeah.
I listened to his live podcast
yeah.
today, and they're like, it was screwed up for the first like minute, and he's like, "Great, Alex, figure this out. Also, you're fired."
Yeah.
It's just like his delivery is so good.
It's dry, funny humor.
Yeah.
I was watching the one with him.
You can't help but laugh.
And like Bob Saget.
Oh,
did you watch it? It was pretty funny, dude. Bob Saget's fucking funny. And he literally roasted Ethan for like the first 20 minutes because Ethan called Hila his bottom bitch. It was fucking so funny. They were just talking about it and shit. Like,
I like that.
So, okay, everyone purchases dumb shit online. So, this is a question. The last thing you purchased online, you now have 20,000 of. How awesome did your life just become?
So, I just became a massive distributor for Google Cardboard. So,
what would you do to
it off?
20% off.
I have no idea, to be honest with you. Probably, like, sell it. I have nothing else. Like, what could you do with 20,000 Google Cardboards? I mean, I guess I could, like, develop an app for 3D, for, like, VR, and then I could give it to, like, 20,000 people to test.
How are you going to make an app?
Yeah. See, that's the problem. I don't have the skills to make an app either.
You'd have to learn.
I'd probably have to sell it. That's the only thing I could do.
You'd have to be able to sell it in bulk. How much did they cost?
They're like $20. Who would buy that in bulk?
I'll
take 500 Google Cardboard VRs.
Dude, like a fucking supplier out in like a small tech supplier and give them a big discount.
I'll give it to you for, I guess if you got it for free, right? I'll give you each for $1. And I'd still make 20,000. Because the reality is, who's going to buy them for more than that?
They're not going to buy it at retail. They might buy it for more than that. Like, what's the margin? Like, I don't know how much the like Best Buy would buy them for or whatever. But
Best Buy, I don't know.
See, last thing I bought was stock. Like, it was Stratus, Stratus and 3D System stock. So if I had 20,000 more shares, like,
you'd crash the market.
No, not even close. But like, if that doesn't like, then I would just be like, well, now I'm fucking.
No point investing ever. I just got 20,000 free shares and it didn't help me.
But like,
I feel like
still not crazy. But like, let's put that aside and say it's not can't be stocks or anything. Last thing I bought was skincare product. So it's just like
your skin will be perfect for the rest of your life.
Well, it's fucking. I already use it every day, but like I would just have 20,000 bottles of fucking whatever fucking product it is.
Or I actually bought some shirts online recently.
Did you? So you have 20,000 shirts.
20,000 shirts. I never have to buy clothes ever again. That being said, they don't fit me anymore.
Because you're swole.
Because I bulked. But yeah, that's all that I would have.
Nothing too crazy. I wish it was something more like a bag of Doritos. That's not even that crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like those would go bad. That'd be kind of gross.
Yeah.
Could you imagine eating 20,000 bags of Doritos? I don't ever want to eat that many Doritos in my life.
I fucking love Doritos.
Doritos are good, but you'd be hefty. So, if you bought those 20,000 things, obviously you'd be poor.
Yeah.
But what was a moment in your life where you were like, geez, I'm poor?
I got a good one. Do you want to start?
You can start if you got a good one. Let's
hear it. I'm just about to graduate college, and I was checking out my student loan stuff. And the way the fucking Ontario government calculated, it's prime plus 5. So prime rate is whatever they set. It's like it's around 3% now. So
plus 5%?
Plus 5, dude. So it's like super high interest. Like, I was shocked. Like,
this is OSAP?
This is OSAP. I'm like, this is a fucking racket. Like, I can get a bank loan for less than that. I was really looking into it because I checked my credit score and all that stuff before getting into my personal finances. But I'm like, I could get a bank loan and then pay off all my OSAP and be less interest.
Fuck.
Yeah. So
I thought OSAP was the best way to go. I'm learning very differently.
We can talk more about this off camera if you want. But like, I was really looking at that. I'm like, this is a racket. Like, they give you a grace period where you don't have to start paying it back, but like,
then they make you start paying it back. It just started coming out of my bank account. They're like, yeah, we're just gonna take that.
Yeah, this is ours now. This is mine's now.
$150 every month is ours. Thank you.
See, like, and I was looking at that. I was like, okay, like, what the fuck? Like, when you look at that, you're like, put everything into scope and perspective. You're like, Well, fuck, like that's like a Mustang.
Down,
I was literally thinking
down payment on a house.
yeah, like I could literally buy a Mustang or something instead of paying it back for like honestly
$150 a month. I could buy like a shitty car.
yeah.
100 for $150 a month, like a lease. Be a real crappy car.
Dude,
like
you can buy a Civic, dude. You buy a new Civic. How much is Dan's payment a month on his brand new Civic?
It's like 100. It's biweekly. It's like 100. It's like 200, almost 150 biweekly, I think.
$300 a month is not cheap.
Maybe even 200 biweekly.
Really?
It's somewhere around there, like 150.
I thought it was cheaper than that.
No, adds up to at least 300 a month. I'm pretty sure.
That's kind of expensive.
That's what I mean. Like I get like a 2008 like
Honda
Pontiac, Trans Am, whatever. Yeah, I don't even think that even made.
But that when I was looked at, I'm like, fuck, like I don't feel poor, but like I'm poor.
You want to hear a worse situation than that?
Sure.
Because I got one.
Okay.
Mine is also when I was in college,
Mm-hmm.
and not to one up you, even though I'm about to. Literally, what happened is that I didn't save a lot for college. I saved probably like $5,000, and then I had my whole tuition covered for OSAP. So I was fine, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna work or I'm gonna get bursaries. I had no idea what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, $5,000 is enough. So we go into residence. Residence is $10,000.
So expensive.
Residence
dude.
is $10,000 a year. So that
But it came with some food. Like
it came with food. Not enough to feed you for the whole year.
No, dude. Like, yeah.
On top of beer, like we drank
so
much. So we spent a lot of money on alcohol. I'd say probably like $50 a week at least. Some weeks up to 150.
Yeah.
So like probably halfway through the year, I'm paying my school. I'm using my OSAP to help pay my residence. I'm using the money I have in my bank account. Suddenly, the money I have in my bank account hits zero, which is fine.
Yeah.
I was expecting that to happen, right? But I still have OSAP coming in, so I help pay for residence. Well, guess what? Next OSAP comes in, and it's not enough to pay for my tuition or my residence.
Oh yeah.
Right? So I have to pick like which one to make a payment on, and so I had to pick school because if you don't pick school, if you don't pay it, you can't go to class.
Yeah. And there's no reason to have res without.
There was a couple of days I actually went to class where I didn't have my school paid off. I literally just went, and they didn't even say my name on the attendance. I was just there learning. Grade A student here.
Sneaking in.
And then so I had no money halfway through, and I couldn't pay residence, but luckily they can't kick you out. So I had the full year there, and I had one of my last semesters paid off. And what I ended up doing is I applied to bursaries. That was the only way. I applied to like 5 bursaries, and I got all of them. I got like over $2,000 in bursaries.
What the fuck, dude? I never get bursary money. I don't know why. I apply and they're like, here's $500.
I'm good at applying. I got like 5. So I looked at every bursary I could apply to, and I got all of them or most of them. And then that's literally how I paid for college.
Are you a Native American? Yes.
No. But like most of them were like ones that people didn't even apply for. Like one was like it had like a certain qualification. Like if you were like a Muslim, you got like put up like one higher because the person that paid the grant was Muslim.
Uh-huh.
But I applied to that one, and I guess no one that was Muslim applied.
Wow.
So I automatically got it. Mm-hmm. Like, so I just applied to everything. Because usually you'd be like, oh, like I'm not a Muslim. There's going to be tons of Muslims applying for this. I'm not going to get it. But if you think about it, like probably a lot of the Muslim community, like I feel like most of the Muslims I know have money.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially if they're immigrants.
Yeah. Especially like if you can afford to come and pay for school, you don't need bursaries.
Yeah.
Like your parents are paying for everything. Like you're fine. Right? So they never applied to those is what I felt like. So I applied and I got it. And I was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And then my program gave out like $500 to $1,000 bursaries.
Damn.
They gave out 2 a year, and I got both of those. One was 1,000, one was 500. So I literally paid for residence with bursaries.
That's nice.
Yeah. But if I didn't, I would have been
too.
screwed. I ended up getting a job because I had to pay for my 3rd semester. I didn't have enough bursaries for that.
Yeah.
But if I didn't get that job and if I didn't get those bursaries, I literally wouldn't have been able to finish my program. As well as I'm from a different city than Ottawa. I literally would have had to move back home, not finish my degree, and I would have had $15,000 in debt. So I would have been where I am right now without a degree, which would suck.
Yeah.
Not that I'm much further with a degree.
But it's still good to have the piece of paper, you know?
Sorry for the long rant, but that's my fucked up story.
That's true. I feel like everyone gets in a point in their life when they're like, fuck.
How am I going to live? I didn't even think about groceries or anything like that. Like, my meal plan ran out. You had to use bursary money to go get.
You remember
groceries
Fish and Chip Fridays?
Oh yeah.
Every Friday we get fish and chips. Yeah.
I remember when we were living off of like a Zot's meal plan for like a day or two, because this guy just had, or was it a Zot or Roman? I think
Dude,
it was
Sully.
Roman.
Sully also had a meal plan
Sully.
that had so much.
Yeah, some people that got like the max meal plan,
And then they would just like,
which was like 3 meals
never
a
use
day,
it, yeah.
and then they ate like 1 meal a day.
and they're both small guys. Like Sully's a small dude, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
so was a Zot and so was
Yeah.
Roman, and so like we
Yeah.
literally would just eat their meal plan. They'd bring their card down, but like. We'll get 4 subs and all of them on this meal plan. And then
I remember
we would
going
eat
to
for free.
Sully and there was like 12 dudes that went into the cab and he bought everything everybody wanted because he couldn't
Yeah.
carry it over. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm buying everything. You know,
What a nice guy.
he's a good dude. I had a class
like
with him
Sully.
last semester. Actually, we were
Sully
hanging
was
out.
awesome.
Yeah, that's funny. Too funny.
Um,
So this is like in the hot topic news lately, like the whole give the guns to teachers. So
oh,
you know,
yeah.
Alabama lawmaker, we shouldn't arm teachers because most of them are women. So
This-
you agree with him? You were saying before, right?
No, never. This guy just looks sexist. Like looking at this
He
guy,
does.
it's
He's
like,
an old bald white guy from Alabama. Like we have to give him a little
Yeah.
bit of a break.
Sometimes someone says something like, if I said that or Cody said that, you'd be like, whoa, like that's pretty fucked up. But this guy
Yeah.
says, you're like,
yeah,
that's fucked up. But you look like someone that would
I would
say that.
Like I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised, but you're still wrong.
Mhm.
That's kind of funny. Like along with that, the whole like there was like 18 shootings in February, like
Was it
18 mass
18?
shootings in the States.
We already talked. We killed the gun debate to death. over
Yeah,
the
so we're not
last
gonna
couple
do
of-
it.
Yeah.
But it's just funny that this guy's like, we shouldn't arm teachers because then women would have guns.
Yeah,
Right?
like,
I feel like if you threw this guy back, like, when did women get the right to vote? Like the 40s?
yeah. When was the suffrage movement?
I think it was like 1940s. Like
After
in-
the Second World War, so it was probably the 50s, I think.
Okay. So
Yeah.
if you threw this guy back when women were supposed to get the vote, this guy would definitely be like, no, women should not be able to
Dude,
vote.
This guy was middle aged in the 50s, so he was probably like 45.
Oh,
in the
he was
50s,
definitely
yeah.
protesting
Yeah,
it.
he was like, yeah, women shouldn't vote, man.
They gotta stay in the kitchen. If women could go work, who's gonna make our food and take care of our children? Our children are gonna grow up and be corrupt.
Okay, in defense of this old guy, just playing devil's advocate,
So fuck.
if you see like the average teacher, they're usually not the perfect athletic specimen.
A lot of them, yeah. You're
You know
right.
what
They're
I
a little
mean?
bit puffier, and they're like,
They're very nurturing most of the time,
Yeah.
hopefully. Like a lot of them aren't the kind of people that would be interested in getting a
Yeah.
concealed carry. Unless you're that like old history
plus
teacher.
it would put a lot of pressure on them, right? Because
Yeah.
imagine if you didn't want to get a gun, and then everyone else is getting a gun, and there's a school shooting. People would be like, "Hey, you're a pussy. Why didn't you get a license
Miss
to protect your
fucking
kids?"
Carol didn't get a fucking gun. Like,
Well, yeah,
it's
why
her
aren't you?
fault.
Why didn't you get a gun? Or like, imagine a SWAT
Yeah.
team comes in, and you have every teacher has a gun. Who do they know who to shoot and who not to shoot, right?
Well, probably
It
don't
just
shoot
adds-
the people that aren't shooting at you.
Well, yeah, but
It does add other
It
dynamics.
adds variables, right? So not that we're gonna go into that, but
Yeah.
But this is
Yeah.
just funny. This guy's like, no, women shouldn't have guns. Not just teachers. Women teachers shouldn't have
Literally.
guns. It's just
Because, you
classic
know,
sexism.
It's literally most like I know tons of girls that could handle a gun way better than I can.
Yeah, I met girls that hunt, and I would never like. I don't think I'd ever be good at hunting. I'm just
Yeah.
a pussy. I'd be like,
I
do
don't
I
wanna
have to
shoot
kill
it,
this?
dude, yeah.
I have to kill this?
Dude, I think I'd like hunting actually.
It'd be fun. Like once
Yeah.
like I think if we could make a sport of it, I think we'd both enjoy it. But I think that initial like I'm killing something.
Dude, I
would-
was listening to Joe Rogan and he always says like it's the act of taking a life. He's like it's as primal as it gets.
Yeah, it's true.
You know, like
I think that's
honestly
why people
think
murder, because it's like
yeah,
I feel the same way when I'm in the gym sometimes. Like just lifting
Yeah.
stuff up, it's primal.
it is primal.
Like there's no tech. Like
it's purely testosterone.
it's just like you just get fueled
know?
up, and you're like, I lifted more than that guy, or I lifted more than
Yeah.
I did last time. I feel like an animal. Like that's as primal as it gets. You literally feel like an animal.
yeah.
You're like, I'm a tiger or a lion.
And like pulling the trigger
beast.
when you're killing something, as horrible as that sounds, but like
Yeah.
I can understand why people like it. To be
I think
honest.
I'd want to do a bow. I feel like a gun would be kind of as
a
weird as-
bow would be cool, but
It'd be
dude, they're like
boring.
they're composite bows now, and it's just like fucking a gun. Like it's like
True.
super high powered shit. Like
But if there's still that aim, I guess you gotta aim with a gun. But with a gun,
Yeah.
if it wouldn't feel as like I feel like it wouldn't feel as animalistic, because you're holding a rifle. Right?
I think it would, dude. I've
don't
only
think so.
shot like a 22, which is like a low powered gun. I think like just a super.
I don't think so, and I don't think I would get a thrill out of killing like deer or rabbits.
Hmm.
Because like you could bring a BB gun and just, I feel like a kid could kill all those things. Maybe
Dude,
like
you can't
a bear.
kill a fucking deer with
Maybe like
BB
a
gun.
bear.
A bear would be fucking
I had a BB gun
badass.
that I guarantee could kill a fucking.
No.
Yeah, it could
A
shoot
deer.
through. It could shoot through a wood. It would shoot through like and get halfway through this fucking.
It might
composite wood material.
shoot into the deer, but it's not gonna kill it unless you fucking get it real.
All you
big.
need to do is like get it through. Flesh is so much softer than this. Just hit the heart.
But yeah, it's hard to
wicked.
fucking aim and hit the heart.
And
It's a
then give it,
moving
like-
fucking deer.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you could with a BB gun or like an airsoft rifle.
Some hunter in the comments, even though no one watches this, but some hunter in the comments can be like, "Oh my god, no, you can't."
I know it's not effective. You wouldn't bring
Yeah.
that out and be like, I'm gonna kill. And obviously you wouldn't risk that if you're eating the deer. You're not gonna
Yeah.
bring out a BB gun. But I guarantee you could kill an animal with, like a deer with a BB gun.
I'm
with
sure
a
you
high
could.
powered, not like a. Maybe I mean pellet gun.
Yeah, pellet gun.
I'm thinking.
Because
of
those
pellet
shoot
gun.
metal pellets.
I am so sorry. I meant a pellet gun.
Because BBs
For
are
any of
fucking
those offended.
plastic.
Yeah, I guess plastic wouldn't really go through.
Yeah.
A human bone,
But
which is crazy.
one of the things talking about every day, everyone's talking about now is Stephen Hawking's died. We just wanted to touch on it to stay relevant to pop culture and relevant
Yeah,
news.
it's crazy too. I forgot about him. He just wasn't. He's something you always think is there, but then
Mhm.
you never think about him by the same token. Like I don't think any of us were like, oh, he's gonna die soon. Like
Yeah.
like when I think about who's that girl, Betty White. I'm like she is really close. I'm like I don't
Yeah.
want her to die, but she is gonna die, and
She's
I'm
old
gonna
as
see it
fuck,
one of these
yeah.
days.
Yeah.
But, like I never thought that about Stephen Hawking.
It makes sense. He has ALS for the past 40 years.
Yeah, he was only
right?
supposed to live to 35 apparently.
Yeah,
and
and,
he's
like,
70. He lived to be
70, I
70
think.
plus,
Was
like
it
75 or something.
Was it? Yeah.
Something in there. Sorry if I got that a little bit wrong, but
I think he was dead on 70. Maybe not. But
I think it was a little older.
that just shows how resilient the human body can be. You know?
Yeah, right. And he was like one of the smartest people in the world,
Definitely.
which is absolutely crazy.
He contributed a huge amount to the scientific community, as far as physics go, and
Yeah.
I forget what his main theories are. I'm not super into
Yeah, I'm not really a
big science.
very
buff.
knowledgeable on any
Yeah.
scientific things, especially not Stephen Hawking's.
Yeah.
But it just sucks that, well, it's a natural cause of life, but it's just weird.
yeah.
Is what I was gonna say. What
Yeah.
are so obviously Stephen Hawking's was a good person generally in the eyes of the public.
Yeah.
Unless there's some things I don't know about, feel free to tell me.
Yeah, I think he's pretty okay if we
Were
say.
you gonna say you cheated on his girlfriend when he was young?
I saw that movie, but did he do that?
I heard that he did.
Maybe.
I heard a rumor, but who knows?
He's a good.
But so along with good people, what are some we all know red flags that people have? If you see someone, you're like, oh shit, this person
Yeah.
gets mad at waitresses or this
Yeah.
person doesn't tip well. What are some green flags? So the opposite of red flags, that someone's a good person.
Do you have any off the top of your head? I'm trying to think of some, and I think punctuality is a big thing for me.
You think so?
Because dude, you respect people's time. I cannot stand fucking people that are late.
I think it depends. If it's yo, come over for 9 and I show up at 9:30, it's meh.
But
You know?
it depends all of okay, we're gonna have this meeting, and then after that meeting, I gotta go and do this thing. But
if it's
it's
business, yeah.
you know,
But I feel like that's more so of a reflection on themselves. Oh, if you're not punctual, you're lazy. I feel like a good green flag is someone that's there for you in the good times and the bads. When you're having a good time, you see that person by your
Yeah.
side, and then also when you're having that bad time,
Rough time, yeah.
you know that you can go to. For example, with you, I know that if I ever hit a rough patch or I need a financial advice or
Mhm.
financial help, I know I could come to you.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
And same thing in those good times. You're always there. We're always having a good time.
yeah,
It's got its ups and downs. You're there for
Definitely.
everything, right?
Definitely.
And I feel like that's a good green flag that people have.
Yeah.
You're smiling now because I just complimented you.
yeah. But it
Um,
takes so much time to realize that, right? Whereas
Yeah.
red flags are right up front. You're like,
Okay, I guess yeah.
I was trying to think of something obviously that's true, but you got to think. I'm trying to think of something more right when you meet someone off the bat.
maybe good tipper. If you're having dinner with someone.
Do you think? Yeah.
Imagine if you're out with a girl and she
What's your average tip?
20%.
20%.
Yeah.
You were a back waiter, so you kind of got the
Yeah.
tip out and stuff.
Even before that, I was always a 20%
I
tipper.
feel like I'm a pretty good tipper. There's very few
you
times.
tip 15%, don't you?
No, I tip 20%. But if
Sometimes 25. Yeah, same.
But if the server's nice and tries their best, I tip them 15,
20% is my average because it's that's kind of my goal. You're getting because they're not making a lot of money, and the thing is it's not a super hard job. They shouldn't have to
Yeah.
they shouldn't have to remember my name and remember everything I like.
I don't want them to remember my name, but I want them to be friendly. I hate waiters that
Yeah.
are just mean to you. I'm dude, I'm
That's
a
why
friendly dude.
That's
I'm
why
a nice dude.
I set the standard of 20, and then if they don't come to the table a lot, I'll tip 15. If they're
Yeah.
if they're rude and or they're forgetting a lot of stuff and they don't come on time, that's when I get 10.
Yeah.
Very rarely, sometimes I'll tip like 5%. And if I come back for example, I went to Expectations, service was terrible. I tipped, I think 10%. The guy barely came, and he just took our orders and then showed up like 45 minutes later with like water, and then like 30 minutes later with our food. So I was like, okay, this guy gets 10%. Next time I came back, same exact thing. So I tipped 0%.
Same guy?
Yeah, same guy,
Wow.
same service. So I tipped 0%. It's just like,
Yeah.
it's a standard that I set.
I like, dude, as long as you get me like my cup of coffee real quick, I'm not super stressed on like
Yeah.
how attentive. I just want a beverage.
But if you're like
Yeah.
funny, like if you're like cracking jokes with me and
Yeah.
you're being like maybe poking a little fun at me, like maybe I show up there before my date, you're like, oh, is she not showing up today? I'll probably tip you 25% because
Same.
you're fun and
It's
it
fun.
was awesome.
And also, it's hard for waiters and waitresses to like gauge
Yeah.
that because some people don't like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're taking a
Yeah.
risk, and that's why I don't like if you take those
Yeah.
risks and I don't like them. I'm gonna say the 20%.
Dude, my buddy's a server at I won't say the location actually. I got a friend that's a server, and he was telling me this story. And he wasn't waiting on this table, but he was helping another server bring a plate of food. And he recognized his old. He was a quarterback in high school, and he recognized his high school football coach. And like he was like a really shitty quarterback. But he like was starter for 4 years,
Yeah.
and so like he knew this guy, but he's been out of school for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And he like the coach was really shitty apparently, so he's dropping off the food. And he's like, "Oh, hey, you're the really shitty coach I had in high school. I'm the really shitty quarterback." Like he was like joking around and laughing.
Yeah.
Like obviously making a joke. And dude, he said like after that, like I went outside to have a smoke on my break, and my manager's like, "Bit." I said the name. I'll cut that out. He's like, "Get in here," to like my buddy, and then he come in, and the fucking coach was yelling like red in the face at the manager that he was like so mad.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
That's by the same token, like I would never be like, you're the shitty coach I had. I'm the shitty quarterback.
He's like, dude, in retrospect, like that was like a shitty joke to make, but like I didn't mean anything by it, is what he said, you know?
Yeah,
like,
that's exactly it.
and I'm like, yeah, that's fair. Like, I'm like, you just probably embarrassed him in front of his buddies, and he was just like had his fucking feelings hurt, you know?
Yeah, some people just can't take having their feelings
Yeah,
hurt.
but
So funny story here. Florida House declares porn a public health risk shortly after denying assault rifle ban.
so like before we're gonna stay away from like the gun talk too much, but like porn, do you think porn is a public health risk? Because
I mean, if you're like they're denying assault rifle ban, we're not gonna get rid of assault rifles. What we will get rid of though, we're willing to give up porn. What do you think? What does everyone think?
I feel like porn is harmful to some extent though.
I feel like you can get desensitized to like sex and stuff
Very much
with
so.
porn. I feel like it's like any addiction, right? You can get
Yeah.
addicted to things like drugs, maybe even like somehow guns. I don't know how you get addicted to that, fucking weirdos. But like drugs and shit. So like maybe like I've read I watched a documentary, a guy that like jacked off 7 hours a day, and he was a porn star. So like I don't know how you'd last that long. First of all, props to him.
Oh my god.
But anyways, like I don't think it's a health, like I get it's a health risk, but I don't think it's worth mentioning in the media. Like this is a public health risk. Like it's just gonna
Yeah.
bring a lot of like negative attention to it.
You like this.
And it's like everything is a health risk at some point. Like
Mhm.
social media could be a health risk. You get addicted to that, quit your job,
Video
and just
games, like-
video games can be a health risk. Like literally everything can be a health risk.
Mhm.
And I think it's funny that the title is just like after they denied assault rifle ban. I just think that's
Yeah,
funny.
that
They're
is
like,
funny because
they're like porn is harmful. Assault rifles are
Assault
clearly
rifles?
not.
I guess.
Assault rifles, okay. On to the next issue at hand. How do we feel about porn? Oh no, porn is terrible. And then cue that same
Save
guy.
the children.
Cue that same guy later that night. Okay, MILF, fucks teen. What do we got here? What do we got here? You know, I just feel like
Dirty tentacle.
it's like
porn.
Ted Cruz, wasn't he like
against
campaigning against porn, and then he like tweeted his porn history?
Yeah. It was like, oh, it was an intern. I swear.
I feel like a lot of that is just like trying to win a popular vote because
Yeah.
of
Dude,
course
fucking
every
obviously, that's fucking
parent
all
is like
politicians.
oh porn is bad, you're right, I don't want my kids watching
Yeah.
porn.
Whereas daddy goes home and fucking.
Yeah, oh, I can watch porn, I'm a grown man,
I'm an adult.
I can make that decision, but you're an idiot, you're
Dude,
16.
but I honestly think it does have a lot of negative impacts on young kids.
It can,
And
I think
like
it
even
definitely
people are anyone, it can have negative impact on anyone.
but I think you have to go through those negatives because you're gonna have to learn eventually. You're gonna run into something where you like it so much, you're gonna have to learn how to monitor it, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's why it's like not important to do porn, like to watch porn, but like to have those.
You're saying more people should watch more porn.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, Brett Veery's pro porn. Next segment is Trump Weekly Update. So everybody's talking about Donald Trump, obviously, all the late night hosts. It's very clickbaity. So we're not gonna try to fucking beat the dead horse on this, but there's obviously some funny shit he says, and you're gonna get our opinion on it. So read her off the quote.
So recently, he actually stated this. He stated that, quote, "I really believe I would run in there even if I didn't have weapons."
And he's referring to the Florida
This
shooting.
was referring to the Florida shooting, right? So we had that security guard that didn't do anything. He was armed and he ran away, right? And then D-Trump Nasty comes at it like that pussy. I would have ran in there even if I didn't have a gun, and I just which is definitely ridiculous. I don't think anyone in that situation, maybe like a police officer. I know there was teachers there that were pretty heroic, but
do you think a cop would run in unarmed to a gunfight?
No, that's just dumb. That's like they're trained against that.
It's pretty illogical.
So I definitely don't think D-Trump Nasty would run in there if he didn't have a weapon. But it's just like that thing you say as the president, you know? You have to be like the biggest man in the country.
Biggest swinging dick.
You gotta swing your dick around a little, let people play with it, let them see how big it is.
All right.
And then that's why everyone loves him, because he's such a big talker, such a fantastic big talker.
But if we get any funny tweets from him, we'll keep this updated in the weekly update. But that's something we want to touch on. I think it's pretty fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I think Trump as a person is just like the most ridiculous person in the world.
He's a hyperbole of a fucking.
Literally,
he's a caricature of himself.
He's a hyperbole of the United States of America.
Literally,
when you think of them, you think of him. Like whatever is going on in the States, he always leans towards.
He's just 10x.
He's like, oh yeah, guns. I love guns. And then it's like people are like, oh, the shooting, gun control. He's like, I love gun control.
Yeah.
It's just like whatever is happening, he just like is on the side of most people.
It's funny. He's a fence sitter, and it just so happens the majority of the United States has a lot of
fence sitters.
No, I was gonna say ridiculous viewpoints that he needs to sit on the fence for. Because to be completely honest, his political line of attack is very similar to Justin Trudeau's political line of attack. Yeah. Justin Trudeau, what he does is he's a fence sitter too. He sits on the majority. He has no real public opinions. That's why nothing has really happened in the Canadian political stream, even though they have a majority. So he just sits on the fence and doesn't take a strong viewpoint on anything. And our large majority of the population, especially on the rise right now, is like the left wing. So like that's why he's so PC and so left wing leaning. Like even as far as like a liberal.
If you think about it too, though, like they are supposed to represent the country, like so they kind of have to take the sides and to be fence sitters. That's what I don't like about the way that our systems work, is we don't really get a lot done. Like for example, things that everyone knows needs to be tackled. We all know the schools need to be reformed, but guess what? It's never talked about. Fucking school reform.
I mean, election reform people talk about.
Never happens.
We're running a $20 billion deficit. What the fuck, liberals? Before getting too much into Canadian politics,
but people don't care about the deficit, right? Because it doesn't affect us. So guess what?
It doesn't affect us right now.
Exactly, and that's what people care about.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the things that we know we need to tackle, they don't get tackled because they're later issues, right?
Yeah.
Like no one that votes is in school anymore, so they're like, oh, I turned out fine.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, I'm not a drug user. I'm not like a has-been.
Dude, the opiate epidemic's fucking crazy. If that's what you want something to top on. I know we're coming up to an hour point now.
I don't know much about it.
Because we talked about it a little bit with the safe injection sites.
The safe injection sites.
But that's something that's crazy, you know, like.
You can snip it.
Okay, and one of the last things we wanted to touch on was the Russian elections. So my roommate's actually from Russia, and he was showing me some stuff. So the polls aren't open yet in Russia, but there was videos of ballots of thousands and thousands and thousands of ballots with Putin's name on it, and the fucking stations aren't even open yet. Like, people can't even go in and vote. It's people from like Dush Durek fucking Stan or some shit where they're too stupid and got caught doing it. Like, we joke about it, but it's actually a rigged election. Like, it's in Russia. It's been like since the beginning of time. Like,
one of his like main opponents just was assassinated.
Yeah, like,
and he even said like, "Hey, I'm probably gonna be assassinated. Like, just so you know, for running against Putin." And bam, assassinated.
And he died.
So like,
he's dead.
There's like everyone that goes against Putin in the KGB is just like, no one wants to go against the guy because you die. There's no point.
It's literally like a meme, but it's not even funny. Roman's like, I fucking like hate my country. Like this kind of stuff, such a piss off. They literally don't have democratic elections.
It's like one of the most corrupt countries in the world, besides North Korea.
Definitely.
Or even like Syria, or like, and it's the largest country in the world.
As landmass, yeah.
As landmass, I think it's like 9th in population.
That sounds right. It's around the same size as the U.S. population. A little smaller.
I think it's like 100-something million, or maybe 200 million.
Oh, maybe it's like half the size of the state.
It's like around Mexico.
Is it?
I think so, yeah.
That makes sense. Well, like, it's crazy, and like, I don't know. I just think it's something relevant to today that we should talk about. Like, I just think.
Yeah, it's especially with what we were talking about with like we were just talking about Trump and stuff, and these guys are like, they've had some weird relationships going on. Like they were first like friends and stuff, and now there's like some drama going down between them. Wasn't there like recently? I'm not 100% sure, but
I don't know. But the Russian elections are just fucked. That's why it's like, of course I'm shitting on Trudeau, and I'm very lucky to have the right, and like I'm not gonna be fucking thrown into a gulag because of that.
Yeah.
And like I even voted for Trudeau. Like we democratically elected him, and it's like as bad as like,
he was our choice.
He was our choice.
He was the person that we picked.
Yeah.
And then, but we're lucky to have that. Versus in Russia, like you don't get to pick.
There's no fucking election.
Whatever,
like, it's fake.
Whatever we say, it happens.
Yeah.
It's just
listen to me, or you go to gulag.
You're dead. Gulag is dead.
Have a nice day in gulag.
So I'm really glad I don't live in Russia.
Yeah, literally.
That's basically the synopsis of that.
Yeah, but I think we're going to wrap this up for today. We're coming up on the hour mark, depending how we cut this out. This is improved video quality. Obviously, you can tell me and Brett look way better. Like, comment, subscribe. Check out our social media. Any other things you want to pimp?
Get those push notifications on. Check out our social media. We'll probably start streaming on some Twitch. Maybe we'll even get a schedule going for that.
Yeah, we'll play some Fortnite.
My Twitch handle is just Veary. We're going to play some Fortnite.
Maybe we'll make an RGR one.
We'll make an RGR Fortnite, okay.
Yeah.
Deal.
Yeah.
Deal ski. Other than that, thank you for listening to us today. We'll have another one coming out next Sunday. Maybe we'll even have another guest on.
We should get Seal on is what I was thinking. He's a cool guy.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for watching.
Good night, New York.